with operations here in Tampa Bay have essentially found the right fit. They are Coca-Cola and Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. Bill Johnson is Vice President of Shared Financial Services with Coca-Cola. And Nashid Salahuddin is Director of Human Resources for DTCC. And Nashid, I'm going to ask you first. A lot of people know the Coca-Cola brand. I think everybody in America around the world knows that.
Absolutely.
Tell us what your company does. It deals with validating, confirming stock transactions, or is that too simplistic?
Well, the easiest way to explain it is that DTCC clears and settles virtually all financial transactions at the end of the day that happen in the United States. And we have three focus areas. One is to help reduce risk in the financial services industry. Obviously, with the Wall Street crisis in 2008, everybody has visibility of what's happening with risk. We also help to improve operation efficiencies and to help reduce costs. So that's what we're focused on.
And how many people does it take to do that?
Well, we have about 2,700 employees. Here in the Tampa area, we have about 500 employees.
And how long have you been here?
Well, we've been in the Tampa area since 2004. Our decision to move here was based on the fact that we have a lot of great amenities here. Obviously, we have a lot of skilled labor force here in Tampa. We also have great universities, great hospitals, and really the quality of life in the Tampa area is really outstanding. So we're committed to the Tampa area.
Bill, the Coca-Cola presence is even bigger, but you're not bottling Coke products here. You had the shared, oh, you are at that too? You have it all. Explain your division, though, shared financial services, and how many people that involves.
We have 1,000 people in Brandon performing financial shared services and human resources services, in addition to an operation in Temple Terrace performing inside sales and customer service.
And then there's a bottling plant.
Yeah, we have 4,000 employees in the greater Tampa area that comprise, we have a total of 6,000 in the state of Florida, 4,000 in the greater Tampa area, and we've actually had a presence here for 110 years. We have 3 bottling facilities, 3 distribution facilities, and then these 3 support services that provide support to North America and part of Western Europe.
So it sounds like you might stay for a while.
That's the plan, absolutely.
But the people you're dealing with in financial support, these are accounting type people? Describe the type of
they're
employees you're
accountants,
looking for.
primarily. They're financial
accountants.
accountants. Right.
Okay, so the question becomes, do you find sufficiently skilled employees here? Do you look for them elsewhere? And how do you partner with the universities in our area to find the right people?
Well, the differentiating factor in locating our shared services center here to Tampa was the university and that nationally acclaimed accounting program. Their technical skills are impeccable. Their graduates come ready to make an impact on the business. They have critical thinking skills, communication skills, overall business acumen, in addition to the package of really great technical skills. And they maintain a connection to the business community through their advisory council. We're one of 35 companies that have a seat on that council, and they consistently seek our input on things like curricula and skills profiles for the employees, things like that.
So you find that, and then we're talking about USF's accounting program.
The School of Accountancy, correct.
Right. And so when they come out, you find them ready to hit the ground running?
Hit the ground running.
To go to work.
And not just to perform accounting work, but make an impact on the business.
And is are these the same types of people you are looking for?
Well, for DTCC here in the Tampa area, the 2 biggest areas that we recruit for are our technology areas and operations area. And like Coca-Cola, we've established a partnership with the University of South Florida in addition to the University of Tampa to recruit talent. So this year, for example, we hired over 34 employees in the technology areas and audit and risk areas, and many of them we recruited right from USF.
It's one thing to have a skill set, and that's to be praised, but I think that any company wants people with character. Am I right about that?
Correct.
And how easily is that assessed when you're hiring people and screening people and interviewing people? What are the techniques you use?
Well, there's standard behavioral types of interviewing that you go through. And once again, it's pretty rare to see someone from USF coming in that isn't prepared. Other areas, statistically, you may find a certain number that aren't, but the area is pretty rich in talent, and we're able to recruit pretty much everyone we need off the internet. We very rarely need to use search firms or anything like that.
And a level of maturity doesn't hurt. When I think
Right.
of students coming out of college,
Right.
they're 22,
Correct.
23 years old, and
Yeah.
you're looking for a maturity level. Nashid, I want to ask you about, you're an Air Force veteran yourself.
That's correct.
Right? You've been deployed overseas. You were in Iraq. Tell me, were you not?
Yes, I recently returned from a 6-month deployment to Iraq, actually.
And what was your role there?
My responsibility was to help the Iraqi government to improve operational effectiveness and security at their borders. My background is really more technical and human resources, but what happened is that officers in the military, you know, we are accustomed to dealing with big challenges. So I had a great team of people to help deal with those challenges. And to make a point around what you just mentioned with Bill about how do you sort of quantify, you know, the values that people are looking for, that's a good segue to the Veterans Initiative that we have. So I know both Coca-Cola and DTCC are really focused on hiring veterans. Obviously, we have MacDill Air Force Base here in the Tampa area that has over 15,000 people. We've been really successful in recruiting from that base. And in terms of values around showing up on time, hardworking, problem solving, you really find great talent with veterans around those values.
Yeah, I imagine showing up on time is pretty important in the military.
It's not an option.
All right.
Absolutely.
The goal is 100,000, and we're talking about recent retirees, but I believe this goes to people who might retire by the year 2020. Is that the window, something roughly that
Right. Let me
year?
mention a little bit about that initiative. So it's the 100,000 jobs mission, and 64 companies have joined that initiative with a focus on hiring veterans. So far, 18,000 veterans have been hired since the initiative started last year. As you mentioned, we have a goal of hiring a total of 100,000 veterans within this coalition. And it's not just retirees, it's people who may be National Guardsmen or reservists who serve part-time and have full-time employment. It may be active duty people who serve 6 or 7 years and then transition into the civilian force. So anybody who has those kinds of skills we look for, whether it be retirees or people transitioning.
Bill, what's your experience and Coca-Cola's experience been with hiring people with military backgrounds?
It's been excellent in a wide range of roles, everything from manufacturing to quality assurance to sales to delivery, warehousing, broad spectrum. We have a fairly large number of military veterans on our financial campus and HR campus as well. Been very positive though.
And they do bring a maturity level with them.
Absolutely.
Right? A lot of people do grow up in the
structure.
military. Eh?
And a lot of structure, which
Yeah.
is always good.
The Republican National Convention is a great opportunity for us to showcase the Tampa Bay area to the business world. That's what we're doing here on Front Row all this week. So any company that might want to consider relocating here or expanding here, what would you say to them about this area and why it's such a great place to be?
Well, there are a number of factors. First of all, it's a business-friendly environment. Great support from state and local officials. Tampa Bay Partnership and the Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development are very supportive. Very good public-private partnership. You have great infrastructure. I think we have a fairly well-acclaimed airport. The telecommunications infrastructure here is excellent, but it really gets back to the workforce, really diverse workforce with a wide range of skills and a great supply of talent. I'd say that those are the keys.
We talked about sort of the pipeline coming out of USF,
Yeah.
but do you find people who may have changed careers a little bit later in life who are equally good at what they do?
We do. Yeah, absolutely.
Nashid, would you agree with that as well?
I would actually concur with everything that Bill said. In addition to that, I would add, just in terms of quality of life, I personally have moved here about 9 months ago from New York. A little bit apprehensive at first because, people hear about Tampa Bay, but it doesn't really have as much of a brand recognition as New York does. But after moving here about 9 months ago, it's been an outstanding move for me around quality of life, the kinds of amenities that we have in the area. So I would just say to other businesses that are looking to move, one of the reasons that we moved obviously are the outstanding incentives that the Tampa Bay area offered us. But all of the different things that Bill talked about, in addition to the quality of life that people can have here, are great opportunities for us.
Quality of life is a huge issue when it comes to attracting employees. You've been here how many years, Bill?
20.
20 years. And you know, I always say, well, this is the best place. I've been here 24, and I say best place I've ever lived. So, Nashid, coming from New York,
Right.
You've been here 9.5 months.
That's correct.
How quickly did you say, you know, I kind of like this place?
It probably took about 2 weekends. The first weekend was probably more like, did I actually do this? And then at the second weekend, I'm more of a person who explores and goes out. So I took a trip to the beach, went downtown. So I realized there are a lot of hidden treasures here in this area. So I assimilated pretty quickly after moving here.
When the national media refers to the Tampa Bay region as Tampa, it drives a lot of us crazy because it's not just Tampa. It's St. Pete, it's Clearwater.
Right.
We have a big region here, and to the south, Manatee and Sarasota and Pasco and Citrus, Hernando. So it is a region, and hopefully people will understand that through the work we're doing here this week. I want to thank you both very much for joining us today. Bill Johnson from Coca-Cola, Nashid, and I got his name right the first time, Salahuddin.
Nailed it.
From Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, which is a bit of a mouthful, but I want to thank you both. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, coming right up from Front Row Tampa Bay, the woman who leads one of America's largest school districts right here in Tampa Bay.